Hey, I'm in New Orleans and I've never done an Instagram live before, so I figure why not, jump on here and talk with people directly instead of posting another post or reel or whatever to get you guys' attention. So I wanted to chat because 2025 is coming up. October is almost over. November and December are, big months as far as, people catching up on the editing from the fall and oh, hi everybody. Ooh, so many people joined. Okay, so 2025 is coming up and I keep seeing everywhere on threads and I don't go on Facebook groups, but just like posts and threads mainly that people are worried about 2025 bookings and stuff like that. And it is coming up soon. Booking season is January and February. You can book elopements all year long, but January and February are huge months for bookings. I mean, you can book out the majority of your calendar in January and February. So if you don't have elopement bookings for 2025 yet, I don't want you to worry because you can start in January and basically book out your whole calendar in 2025 and hit six figures. I see people do it all of the time. I've even had students where, they booked out a six-figure year starting in like June. So it's not too late to really get serious about booking all-day elopements because we want you to book things that are more than just a couple hours. I want you to book all-day elopements. I'm talking like 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, because not only is that going to be the best thing for you to do and to make money and to be a profitable elopement photographer, but it's truly also the best thing for your couples. These long days, like every time I end an elopement at 8 hours, the couples always wish it was longer. So this idea that couples only want to be cheap and like book a couple hours, for like a ceremony and some pics. Like there's a whole population of couples out there that really want to do the whole day thing. So if you want to start booking all day elopements in, let's see, I got a request. If you really want to book all day elopements in 2025, now is the time to start with your marketing strategy, with your pricing, and with understanding how elopement planning goes. So there's actually, somebody wants to be in my live, which I've never done this before. So this is fun, but I'm going to see how this works. Did it work? I approved it. Maybe not. Okay. Um, but yeah, if you guys want to ask me any questions about booking out 2025, I would love to help you out. I also want to plug my membership community, Stoked Academy, because I am going to be raising the prices here soon. So I'm going to plug my program, just a heads up to everybody. It's an awesome program, so I'm not going to tiptoe around the fact that I love that program. But if anybody wants to ask any questions, otherwise I'm just going to word vomit some stuff at you guys. Hello, everybody. Man, a bunch of people joined. Hi. Hi. Okay, again, this is my first live. So I really just want to encourage people on here that there's like 4 big things that I want you to focus on when you're trying to kind of pivot into doing more all-day elopements. I just got a question. How long does it take to get portfolio and webpage ready when starting from zero? That like the webpage part could be really quick, like I actually have a whole framework on what I want you to include on your website and how to basically make it like a sales page that does a lot of the selling for you before people even reach out to inquire with you, so you can like build trust and communicate your value and stuff like that. So I mean, some people take a while to get all that stuff done, but really it could be done like in a day or two or a week or two, you know, depending on how good you are at writing. The portfolio can be the more challenging part. I just did a podcast episode on styled shoots and why styled shoots are so important, because people who are booking you for like $4, $5, $6, $7,000, like they want to see photos, and they want to see photos in certain locations. So most of the time when I get booked, like 90% of the time, I'm getting booked at places where I have already photographed an elopement, and people are like, ooh, I want this exact location. I love this photo. You know, this day looks exactly like what we want. So it is important to build your portfolio when you're going to be increasing your prices and offering these all-day elopements. That portfolio should include not just pretty golden hour photos, but also like the ceremony, the vows, first look, activities, multiple locations, things where, you know, the couples can get excited and actually visualize what an all-day elopement looks like. So when it comes to portfolio building, like you could set up a elopement styled shoot this weekend if you wanted to. You know, it doesn't have to be like a really drawn out thing. And as long as you really have 3 couples kind of showing, you know, a bunch of different locations and activities and things like that, you're pretty much good to go to target that location. So some locations, like, you know, if you want to shoot in the wildflowers of Colorado, you can't really do that right now. You'd have to wait till next July, which that sucks, you know, but are there locations that you could target right now where you can go out and get really pretty photos to show people? Like, absolutely. So, so you can do it pretty quick. You can also kind of like tease photos out of weddings that you've photographed, and you know, kind of like use those to show couples what an elopement day might look like. Eloping couples don't want to really see venues. They don't really want to see huge bridal parties. You know, they don't want to see reception photos. They really want to see people out like in nature and doing stuff. So you can potentially build your portfolio really quickly, but sometimes people do get trapped in the seasonality of stuff because, you know, the fall colors maybe have dropped. Maybe I'm even getting some snow back where I live, you know, so it kind of depends on the seasonality. But yeah, what other questions do you guys have? Feel free to comment below and I will answer them. Otherwise, I'm just going to continue word vomiting for like the next few minutes before I have to do a Zoom call. Let's see. But you could definitely like the reason why I'm doing this now and why I wanted to just get on a live really quick is because you can have all your ducks in a row and basically create everything that you need to create as far as your pricing and your marketing and your mindset and understanding how elopement planning works. You could have that all ready and set for you in January when all the couples are kind of like, you know, they're done with the summer, they're done with the fall, they're done with the holidays, and now they have the green light to go ahead and plan their dream elopement. So so I'm going to kind of circle back to the 4 things that are really important. One of them is mindset, and I think what a lot of people struggle with is this idea that, you know, there's only money in weddings or that the market is saturated or that the economy sucks, and or people just aren't investing in all-day elopements, and those things are just not true. Like, I see people all the time, like, remember, I've coached hundreds of people at this point. I see them, you know, getting booked in saturated markets all the time. In fact, sometimes those saturated markets they're not technically saturated, they're just crowded. So if you can stand out from the crowd, then you'll start booking elopements. This other idea that, you know, weddings are where the big money's at is just also not true. You can totally make a really good living focusing on elopements. You can shoot them on weekdays. You can shoot them around your schedule. It only takes booking $25,000 elopements a year to make 6 figures. So like, you can make great money. And once you kind of position yourself as an expert and start getting into those higher price points, it becomes easier and easier to make a lot of money from elopements. And like we're talking $6, $7, $8, $9, $10,000 per elopement, because these are people who, you know, probably started out thinking about, you know, doing a wedding, seeing that it costs, you know, 40 grand just to feed people or something. And so when they switch over to planning an elopement, like they have money to spend on this. They want to invest in this experience, but you have to make sure you're talking to the right people. So mindset is huge. I think we all, you know, can appreciate kind of like the things that we tell ourselves, like, oh, I can't be an elopement photographer. Oh, I can't charge $5,000. But you can, and I see it all the time, but we have to get out of our own way to do that. And so a lot of pivoting into elopements is kind of going through these mindset changes so that we allow ourselves to market to these locations and we allow ourselves to charge these prices and see that it works, you know, with the right strategies, of course. So the second thing I like to focus on is the pricing. And basically, I see a lot of people struggle to book anything over 2 hours for elopements, if they book elopements at all, but they're not even offering, you know, all day elopements as a package or as a possibility. And couples that want to, you know, invest in a whole long, amazing elopement day, they're not going to go to a wedding photographer's website that's all weddings and then scroll down to the little 2-hour elopement package and then reach out to that person and say, can you do 8 hours? Like, they're just not going to do that. You know, they're going to go for the people who have the portfolio of the elopements and that they offer 8-hour packages or 12-hour packages and bigger packages and show what an all-day elopement looks like. So that's where a lot of kind of like this disconnect comes from, where people are only working with the price hagglers. They're only working with the people who want, you know, a couple photos of the ceremony and golden hour portraits, and they don't want a whole 8-hour elopement, but you're trying to upsell them to that, and that's not how it works. You need to already offer those kinds of things and basically be talking to the couples that are interested in that stuff to begin with. So then you don't have to upsell anything. You don't have to convince them of anything. They're already convinced and they see that you offer what they want. So pricing is huge. I do 12-hour, 8-hour, and 4-hour packages, and I like to talk about them in different, like as different experiences. You know, 4 hours is really a quick thing. And it's kind of a rush job, and most couples that want to elope don't want to be rushed. So then we start talking more about the 8-hour and the 12-hour packages, and just kind of explaining how it works. They already, a lot of times, are sold on it. So I like to go over mindset, I like to go over pricing, and then marketing is a huge part of reaching these couples. Again, you have to market to the people who already want this kind of stuff. They already want to invest in the experience. They're not going to reach out to a wedding photographer and be like, hey, do you do elopements? Like, they're going to go for the elopement photographers. So marketing is not just about posting on Instagram and hoping someone finds you or hoping something goes viral or whatever. I think that's a big misconception. I wonder if I can put this up a little more so I'm not bending over. But that's a big misconception that like posting on Instagram is marketing, and it's just not. So marketing is actually something where you can, you know, collect data and monitor that data and fix things as needed. And it's more of a holistic thing where you're utilizing multiple different channels for different purposes. So marketing channels are things like Google, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest. Those are the big ones. I say get rid of Facebook. Facebook is like toxic. You know, Instagram is great for nurturing people who have already found you through Pinterest or Google. So that's kind of how I utilize the marketing channels is I want people to find me on Pinterest and Google, maybe TikTok, because there's a lot of younger people on TikTok. And then basically I can like nurture them and give them more behind the scenes kind of content on Instagram. But Instagram is not how I'm trying to reach people. It's how I'm just talking to the people who have already found me. So that makes Instagram fun and you know, a way to connect with people. And couples that are eloping and elopement photographers all the time say they want a connection with people, a deeper connection than just a client-vendor relationship. And Instagram's where you can connect with people after they've already found you on other channels. So marketing is huge. And then the last thing is elopement planning. A lot of people don't know like how to plan elopements, which is totally fine because it's its own beast, you know? And I think the fact that people don't know how to book elopements or how to plan elopements keeps them from from trying to book these all-day elopements. And a lot of photographers don't know what you would do all day, and that's totally normal. But once you learn how to plan these elopements, 8 hours almost seems like not enough time. And there is like a whole system where you can automate it and streamline it and make it a really awesome experience where you truly get to know your couples, they get to know you. There's definitely more front end work for elopements than weddings. But then once the day comes, it's so easy, it's so awesome, it's so much fun. So these four things are all things that I cover in Stoked Academy. Obviously, I can't, you know, talk all about the stuff in like just 5 minutes on an Instagram live. But yeah, I definitely want to plug Stoked Academy because you can get a link to it in my bio. I am going to start upping the prices, but I run you through all of these things step by step. Your mindset about all of the things, about markets, about pricing and money. We talk about all that stuff, and then I have you create a marketing strategy that involves all of the channels in a way that you can do it probably in a lot less time than it takes you to like scroll and post on Instagram and hope something happens. And then we go through the pricing and how to raise your prices and how to charge, you know, $5,000 per elopement and how to get up there fairly quickly. And my students do that very quickly. And then all the elopement planning information you could ever need, because I think that's really where people kind of hold themselves back. They don't think that they know how to plan an elopement. They don't know what an 8-hour elopement looks like. And that's okay because I walk you through all of it. So does anyone else have any questions before I kind of go to my next Zoom? No? Okay, well, I really encourage you guys. Again, I'm raising the prices for Stoked Academy, so I wanted to come on here and just give you some feedback, answer questions, talk about some stuff, and yeah, DM me if you have any questions, if you want to know if the program's for you. It's really cheap. It's $47 a month right now, and you get a group coaching call with me. You get a Slack community, or not Slack, a school community. You get the step-by-step stuff. And I don't have contract templates, but I have tons of templates in Stoked Academy, but I'm not a lawyer. So I just always recommend the legal page for contracts. But I have tons of email templates, spreadsheets, questionnaires. My questionnaire is amazing. So yeah, cool. Yeah, hopefully I'll start doing these more because this is fun and you guys can come and ask questions, but I'm gonna head off because I need to walk these 2 dogs that I'm hanging out with and get on a Zoom call, but I'll be back one of these days. Bye.